Good morning, everyone. We will now begin the morning service of the Miroku Association headquarters, asking God and Meishu-sama to protect and bless us as we participate today in the construction of paradise on earth. Amatsu-Norito and Miroku Prayer, please stand. 高天原にかむすまります。かむろぎかむろみのみこともちてすめみおやかむりざなみことつくしのいもかのたち花のほどのはぎはらにみそぎはらいたもうときになりませるはらいどの神たちもろもろのまがごと積みけがれよ払いたまえ清めたまえとまおすことのよしをあまつかみくにつかみやおよろずの神たちともに雨のふちこまの耳振り立ててきこしめせとかしこみかしこみもまおす弥勒おみかみ守りたまえ先はえたまえ弥勒おみかみ守りたまえ先はえたまえ教えみよや主の神守りたまえ先はえたまえ教えみよや主の神守りたまえ先はえたまえかんながらたまちはえませ。かんながらたまちはえませ。Great God of light, creator and giver of all life, in accordance with your divine will, the long age of night draws to an end. Your radiant divine light, shining evermore brilliantly, awakens the dawn of the glorious age of light, created by all humanity. We thank you for guiding us to your divine plan, and for the privilege of channeling and receiving Johrei. May our spirits and bodies be illuminated and purified as we live your truth given to us by Meishu-sama, effective instruments of your divine light, so that we may serve you and all those with whom we come in contact. May paradise on earth be realized, with health, peace, and prosperity, a reality in our lives. Great God of light, bless and protect us. Radiate our souls with your divine light, so that we may truly become instruments of your great plan. Please be seated. We will now receive group Johrei.
Meishu-sama bless you.
Johrei is now concluded. We will now listen to a reading from Meishu-sama's teachings. God's plan. From the beginning of time, the great God of light has had the plan of establishing paradise on earth. How can this planet and all of the universe created by God be imprisoned in darkness forever? When all people on earth open their hearts and minds to God's divine plan, darkness in the world will disappear. We believe the supreme God, the creator of the universe, has planned for the establishment of paradise on earth from the very beginning of time. Throughout the ages, God has been working toward its fulfillment. For this purpose, each human being is used as God's instrument. We believe that humanity's past history has been the preparatory stage for paradise on earth. For each age, God had sent the necessary individuals and religions, each to accomplish a specific mission. Now the world is in such chaos that no one can predict what the future holds. We believe God entrusted Meishu-sama, our founder, with the mission of providing the tools necessary for the world's transformation, so that God's plan for humanity's physical salvation can be fulfilled. We are determined to do our best to eradicate the three great miseries of humanity: disease, poverty, and conflict, and to help realize an ideal world of eternal peace in which truth, virtue, and beauty prevail.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining the morning service of the Miroku Association headquarters. Today, I have this faith experience I would like to share with you. It is from Sergio Bustamante Sanhuesa. He's from Chile. Sergio has been a member of our church since March of 2018, where he had the permission to receive the sacred focal point of Hikari after going through some purifications. With his family, they participate in daily and all online services, channel Johrei, make gratitude offerings, and try to live by the teachings of Meishu-sama. He's a professor and worked for more than 7 years at the University of Chile, where he was in charge of physics classes. He had achievements and successes in terms of his performance as a teacher, such as, for example, the modernization of physics classes and laboratories for all faculty careers. In general, he was calm and earned a salary that allowed him, but without luxuries. Since August 2018, and together with a colleague, they have suffered workplace harassment by a teaching coordinator, and in October 2019, they reported the situation to the directors of the faculty. After making the complaint, this person wrote false reports and manipulated other teachers into speaking out against Sergio. He was finally terminated in February 2020, and he brought two of his friends to cover his duties. In March 2020, he was hired for a few hours in a school which would allow him to cover part of his family expenses. In May of the same year, the school principal fired him, accusing him of not being a real teacher. He filed a labor claim for unjustified dismissal, since his contract was for 1 year and he had submitted all documents that proved the veracity of his profession. For the rest of the year, he was only able to do a couple of replacements as a substitute teacher, nothing that lasted more than 2 weeks. This layoff brought the accumulation of unpaid utility bills and a mortgage loan, which kept him very distressed. In the same period, and together with his wife, they had the mission of directing and relating online meetings for the study of the teachings of Meishu-sama. Among the participants, his brother-in-law, and a friend of his brother attended, all of them non-members. The meetings lasted 2 hours and they held them 3 times a week. It was always very entertaining and everyone participated. In addition, he was assigned a day to dedicate at the Johrei Center, a dedication he never stopped doing, despite purifying financially. In early March of this year, he got COVID-19. As the disease progressed rapidly, he went to the hospital and he was there for 21 days. While he was hospitalized, his brother and Sergio's wife, who has been a member for more than 13 years, began to dedicate more intensively at the Johrei Center, gaining understanding about the reason for his purification. Everything is in the hands of God, and everything would improve when his detachment would be real. During his stay in the hospital, other situations occurred that confirmed his belief in Meishu-sama, Johrei, and the power of prayer and guidance. Every time he felt distressed or afraid, he prayed the Amatsu-Norito in a low voice or in his head. He couldn't physically bow for the prayer, so he imagined himself bowing. There were many moments of restlessness and fear, not of dying, but of having unforeseen handicaps. But he felt Meishu-sama was always with him. It was strange, but despite being isolated in a room, he never felt alone. Chanting the prayer calmed him down, made him happy, and gave him hope that everything would be okay. Another miraculous fact was that one day, while he was recovering from the second intubation, a person who performed the functions of assisting the patients approached him to ask if he knew who he was. Surprised, Sergio answered no. He told Sergio that he is the brother of a neighbor of his parents, a great coincidence that allowed him to have direct communication with them and his wife. He, without asking Sergio, assumed the responsibility of assisting and accompanying him in all the procedures that were performed on him. Also, Sergio could call his family and send them photos so they could be relieved. Having a known person accompanying him as patient in a moment of so much uncertainty is a great divine blessing. Coming out of the second intubation, he understood that the only way to definitely heal himself was to surrender to God and Meishu-sama. He let the days go by and he did not force any situations. He was patient, detached himself, and practiced surrendering. Incredibly, his physical improvement came when his emotional disposition changed. That same week, his brother-in-law, and his brother's friend were blessed to receive the Ohikari. Now his brother dedicates intensively at the Johrei Center, being responsible for the recording of all the services and video productions. After 3 weeks of being bedridden in the hospital, he lost the ability to walk and had strain in his arms. However, upon arriving at his home, he received Johrei intensely from his wife, daughter, his ministers, and other members who regularly attended his home. After 3 or 4 days, his life was almost back to normal. He only had some problems when doing some physical efforts, but nothing serious. 10 days after being discharged, he was contacted from a renowned school in Santiago, where he had done a 3-week teaching replacement before. At this university, he has the responsibility for the subject physics classes as a career, with the possibility of increasing to 2 or 3 other classes for this second semester. He won the labor's lawsuit for the unjustified dismissal of which he was a victim in 2020, which will allow him to catch up on his debts and live more peacefully. He changed his diet, prioritizing healthy foods, quit on drinking sugary drinks, and began practicing sports with his family. Harmony at home improved because moments of uncertainty are now only a thing of the past. Security and tranquility have arrived little by little. Since leaving the hospital, he finds himself without physical setbacks and returned to give service and attend the Johrei Center. He continues to participate in the online services and practices making monetary offerings of gratitude. Sergio's commitment is to really be a useful instrument to the divine work and to be wholeheartedly accept God and Meishu-sama, whatever they have for him. Thank you very much for attending the service, for listening to this faith experience. I wish you a very wonderful day. Thank you.
This brings to a conclusion our morning service. Thank you everyone for joining us. Have a blessed day.